50 songs, 5 rounds, and some truly terrible descriptions. Today, we're tackling some of the biggest hits in music history, and your job is to name the song from a single sentence. From party starters to viral hits, how many can you get? Are you ready? Welcome everyone. So, let's get this party started with, well, the party starters round. Here's the first one. A costumed troupe enthusiastically recommends a youth club while spelling letters with their arms. Of course, that's YMCA by the Village People. If more men took their advice, we'd probably all be better off. Next up is, a 17-year-old dances in a nightclub and receives a level of admiration usually reserved for royalty. You got this one? Yep, ABBA with Dancing Queen. Unfortunately, it's all downhill after being crowned at 17. Number 3 on our list. A small child experiences heartbreak and immediately launches a professional music career with his 4 brothers. Yes, that's the Jackson 5 with I Want You Back. I think history has shown that there was nothing strange about that, nothing at all. Let's misinterpret this next one. A group confidently predicts an amazing night despite having absolutely no plan beyond shouting about it repeatedly. The correct answer is I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. Okay. Bringing us to number 5 is, a man tortures himself imagining what his ex-girlfriend is doing at a party, but says he's doing just fine. That was The Killers with Mr. Brightside. He was not, for the record, doing just fine. Moving swiftly on. A flight attendant willingly consumes hazardous chemicals because she finds a passenger exceptionally attractive. If you guess Toxic by Britney Spears, then you get the point. Pop stars masquerading as flight attendants is a massive breach of airline security protocols, but never mind. Next is, a daughter explains to her parents that girls prefer enjoyment over responsibility. That was Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. In my opinion, an absolute gem of a song. Item number 8 is, a couple of anonymous robots and a guest vocalist stay awake all night purely to improve their reproductive odds. Yes, Get Lucky by Daft Punk featuring Pharrell Williams. I wonder if they actually did get lucky. Now we have, a singer cheerfully explains that lifelong romance is impossible while forcing everyone to shake Polaroid pictures. That was, of course, Hey Ya by Outkast. Okie dokie. And the last song in this round is, 2 older Spaniards use mass synchronized arm movements to happily celebrate a woman who cheats on her boyfriend. Yes, Macarena by Los Del Rio. Millions of children at primary school discos joyfully jumping 90 degrees to celebrate severe relationship infidelity. A beautiful cultural tradition. And that's the final party starter. Let's move on now to the one-hit wonders round. Proof that sometimes lightning does strike exactly once. Kicking things off, several men ask an important question about animal containment but never receive a satisfactory answer. That was Who Let the Dogs Out by the Baha Men. 25 years and we've never had a decent answer for that. Next up, a commitment-phobic womanizer rations fractional measurements of affection to Monica, Erica and Rita. And that pretty much describes Mambo number 5 by Lou Bega. What a catch, eh ladies? For number 3, a man confidently believes he is too attractive for his upper body garments. A true cultural milestone, it's I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. And now, a plastic child's toy invites inappropriate public physical contact under the guise of family-friendly entertainment. Yep, Barbie Girl by Aqua. Honestly, if a toy ever invited me to touch it in public, I'd simply leave the shop. Well, now we have a naked man blends into a wall mural to insist he cares nothing about his ex-girlfriend by writing a song about her. If you said Somebody That I Used to Know by Gotcha, featuring Kimbra, then you get the point. Okay, number 6 is an unclean teenager ignores a severe campus firearm threat to focus on his unrequited crush and Iron Maiden. That was Wheatus with Teenage Dirtbag. Teenagers are remarkably good at prioritizing the wrong things. Can you get this one? A man borrows someone else's bass line, adds some words about how cool he is, and asks you to stop. That reductive description is for Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. He famously insisted it was a completely different bass line. Clearly, it was not. Our next disturbingly accurate description is: traumatized singers accuse visual entertainment technology of violently eliminating an audio performer. Yes, Buggles with Video Killed the Radio Star. It was the first video ever played on MTV in 1981, so there we are. For number 9, we have the end of human civilization in a nuclear war is cheerfully explained via an upbeat German synth pop song. Did you get it? It's 99 Luftballons by Nina. And to close out the one-hit wonders, a collective of anarcho-punks describe an irresponsible pattern of binge drinking. The correct answer is Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba, mixing a whiskey drink, a vodka drink, a lager drink, and a cider drink. He didn't get knocked down, he just kept falling over. And that's the end of the one-hit wonders. It's time to turn the amps up to 11 with the rock anthems round. Our first rock anthem is: two strangers ride a midnight train while a singer aggressively orders them not to lose faith. Well, that could only be Don't Stop Believing by the band Journey. It taught us South Detroit is actually in Canada. For our second rock anthem, we have a guy in a bandana explains how a face reminds him of somewhere, and then at the end, he repeatedly asks for directions. Yes, that is Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. 5 minutes being nostalgic, and then 1 minute being confused. For number 3, a dock worker and a waitress realise they are only halfway there. Well, that pretty much sums up Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, doesn't it? Okay, up next we have a Mancunian sings a made-up word and dooms all future parties whenever someone pulls out an acoustic guitar. Any idea? That is Wonderwall by Oasis. I'm still none the wiser as to what a Wonderwall is. Okay, moving on to number 5. A traveller visits a luxury resort only to discover the checkout policy is purely metaphorical. Well, that could only be Hotel California by the Eagles. One presumes the exit is somewhere in the guitar solo. And now we have... For 3 minutes, a guy from Birmingham complains about his mental health because his brain is bored. That is Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Classic. Number 7 then. An awkward introvert whispers about feeling weird, drops an F-bomb, and screams that he isn't special. Aww. The answer is Creep by Radiohead. Like Wonderwall, it's another song that's plagued house parties whenever someone's pulled out an acoustic guitar. Thanks, Tom. Number 8 on our list is... A man returns wearing dark clothing and doesn't stop talking about the fact that he is back. Got this? Yes, that is Back in Black by the one and only AC/DC. Right, here's the next one. Flannelled misfits incite a high school gym riot by screaming incoherent poetry about insects and libido. Yes, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Somewhere, a lyric website is still trying its best. And our final rock anthem could only be this one. A young man confesses to murder, enters an operatic fever dream, and forces everyone to headbang in a car. Well, if you guessed Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, you get the point. Nothing says timeless rock masterpiece quite like a 6-minute operatic existential crisis. So that's the rock anthems finished. Next up are the soundtracks. Proof that every great film is only one power ballad away from being even more ridiculous. The first on our list is... a song written entirely to answer the question, who are you going to call? Of course, that's Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. Conveniently, they put the answer in the title. Next is... a woman survives a maritime disaster and confirms at considerable vocal length that she has not moved on. Well, if you didn't get this, I'm disappointed. It was My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Okay, and now for number 3. A high-energy pop anthem commands the listener to immediately remove their Sunday footwear. Yes, Footloose by Kenny Loggins. Honestly, if removing footwear solved all my problems, I'd be unstoppable. Moving along. A pianist asks a series of deeply personal, evening-themed questions about sensory romantic perception. And the answer is Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Elton John, a beautiful track about the mating habits of African wildlife. On to number 5 then. A charismatic federal agent uses hip-hop to explain illegal memory wiping protocols and extraterrestrial conspiracies. Yep, that was Men in Black by Will Smith. I bet he'd love a memory wiping device after that incident at the Oscars. Oh, Will. Next up is... a woman dramatically predicts total atmospheric collapse while a spy refuses to die for like the 23rd time. Do you know? It's Skyfall by Adele. Apparently she wrote it in 10 minutes. Impressive. And now, a feline-themed motivational anthem chronicles the strict dietary habits and intense optical focus of an aggressive prize fighter. Of course, that one is Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, rocking the revolutionary look with that beret there. The 8th of this round is... A singer utilizes a dramatic instrumental drop to scream about her eternal love for her former bodyguard at extreme volume. Yes, that's I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Okie dokie. For number 9, we have three brothers provide surprisingly catchy advice about not dying. If you said Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, you're correct. Medical professionals actually recommend using the rhythm of this track to perform CPR. It's appropriate, really. And to finish the round, a man receives one opportunity and spends 5 minutes explaining why he shouldn't waste it. That is Lose Yourself by Eminem from the movie 8 Mile. Never to be confused with Vanilla Ice. Okay then. And that concludes the soundtrack round, leaving us with the viral hits, where traditional marketing is completely replaced by erratic smartphone choreography. We begin the final round with this one. A Korean man in sunglasses breaks the entire internet by performing an equestrian dance routine in an elevator. Somehow this went to number 1. It's Gangnam Style by Psy, a video so popular it literally broke the YouTube view counter. Sticking with horse riding for number 2, a TikTok cowboy refuses to stop riding an imaginary horse even when Billboard removed him from their country chart. Yes, if you said Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, you get the point. Up next, we have bored whaling crews harmonise on TikTok while waiting for sugar and rum deliveries mid-pandemic. Written by unknown New Zealand sailors, that was Wellerman. Yeah, lockdown was a strange time for all of us. More TikTok with number 4. TikTok users create a dance routine for a factual and surprisingly detailed account of a Russian holy man. Yes, Rah Rah Rasputin by Boney M. Somehow the weirdest part of the song is that most of it is true. Okay, the next description is: a woman threatening violent homicide at a nightclub reaps the rewards of the Saltburn effect 22 years later. And the correct answer is Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophie Ellis Bextor. Okay. And now we have a man skateboards while drinking juice, causing a 1977 song about coincidental weather conditions to re-enter civilization. Yes, it's Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac's social media team couldn't have planned it better. Okay, let's see if you recognise this one. A woman goes on about uphill exercise, then becomes chart relevant again thanks to supernatural teenage trauma. Of course, Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. I think Spotify owes Vecna a commission. Speaking of Stranger Things, a spooky rock band crucifies the wrong biblical figure, which is somehow perfect for a Stranger Things fan edit. Give yourself a point if you said Mary on a Cross by Ghost. Somewhere, a theology teacher just sighed. And our penultimate song description: a bored, unblinking goth dances at the school prom, accidentally causing this unrelated 2011 pop track to trend. Yes, Bloody Mary by Lady Gaga. In Wednesday, she actually dances to Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps, but TikTok wasn't quite ready for the Cramps, so people started pairing the dance with Bloody Mary instead. Anyway, the final description is: a man vows eternal devotion while secretly plotting to prank the entire internet. That was, of course, Never Gonna Give You Up by the one and only Rick Astley. If you managed to get through this entire quiz without realising you were walking straight into a trap, I can only apologise. And that is the end of the quiz. Let us know in the comments if you have any of your own terrible descriptions. We'd love to hear them. We hope you enjoyed this quiz. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Until next time, cheerio.